This meeting is being recorded.
A warm welcome to one and all. Good morning to one and all. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to present a PPT on International Conference on Latest Trends 2024. Today I am here to present the PPT section, a review on effect of steel slag and partial replacement of fine aggregate. Myself, I am Shaik.Sydha, research scholar under the guidance of Dr.T.V.S.Vara Lakshmi garu, Assistant Professor, Head of the Department in Dr. Y.S.R. Acharya Nagarjuna University from Guntur. A warm welcome to one and all 10th International Multidisciplinary Conference on Current Research Trends 2024. Today I am here to present my research paper, a review on effect of steel slag on partial replacement of fine aggregates. In this research work, the main contents are abstract, history, introduction, literature review, materials used, methodology, tested to be carried out, acknowledgement, next future scope of study, references. So in this study, a review on effect of steel slag partial replacement of fine aggregate. Main abstract. Steel slag is a byproduct of steel iron generated from which is from the plant. It is the byproduct of steel plant and which is harmful to the environment and ecological system, which is disturbing the ecological system, and it is very dangerous to the human beings. It is more impact on ecological system. This research paper present the comprehensive study on the behavior of steel slag, including on extension, experimental analysis, and its effect on fresh hardened concrete under the axial impact compression, and also finding the cube test, which is involving varying amount of steel slag incorporation in the concrete or throughoutly discussed. The results demonstrated that incorporation of steel slag as a fine aggregate can be enhance the static and dynamic compressive strength of the concrete. The compressive strength of the steel slag concrete under the impact loading initially increases and then decreases. It is normally formed by the normal cement also same. The first initially decreases and then finally increases. So this is the behavior or this the initial test which is conducted in steel slag, which is obey for the fine aggregate. So that's why I chosen the steel slag as a fine aggregate. So however, the failures mode of steel slag concrete under the impact loading remains similar to that normal concrete to achieve the enhance the performance of steel slag. So this is the abstract about my research paper. So history of steel slag. Steel slag is a byproduct obtaining from the similar to the recycling materials or reusing materials. Silicon oxide and metal oxide make up the majority of in steel slag. It can be broadly categorized into non-ferrous base materials, unlike to the copper, nickel, zinc, and ferrous materials, and fabricately. Slag mainly the basic oxygen furnace slag and electrical arc furnace slag. The steel slag is mainly forming from basic oxygen furnace slag, which is used in the oxygen. And the next one is electrical arc furnace slag. Electrical city used for this purpose. The oxides from the calcium, magnesium, silicate, iron, and aluminum make up the majority of those slags. Similar amount of magnesite and phosphates and other elements may be presented as well, depends upon the participants and the raw material utilization. So this is a picture of steel slag which is we taken from the steel slag. It is nearer from Vizag steel plant. So introduction, a review on effect of steel slag and partial replacement of fine aggregate. The basic introduction is A steel slag is an industrial waste which is produced from the making of steel. In this process, solid waste produced in electrical arc furnace EAF and basic oxygen furnace BOF. During the meeting of scrap materials, produced steel is called steel slag. A third variety of ladle steel slag also formed and utilized in the steel slag. 80 to 90% of BOF changes is made up of molten iron and 10 to 20% made up of the steel scraps. It has low cementation properties and variable chemical components. The use of steel slag is replacement cement, natural aggregate, and also fine aggregate, which is promising, and it can be reduces the consumption of natural resources and environment impact. Steel slag is production increasing and development of countries, India and China. So India is the second largest steel production throughout the world. So in 2019, for the typical raw material used in the steel slag plants in India, the steel slag produced generation up to 1.2 tons of solid waste. A significant mark of solid waste is slag. So it is estimated 53 MT of steel slag is generated in India in 2019. The research studies explained. So however, there has been limited use of research and the utilization of steel slag is less than 10%. So the total production is more than 100%. The utilization is only 10%. So 90% of waste is survival throughout the country. So it is a major problem. That's why we chosen the basic component is steel slag. So this is about introduction. My literature review. So they are nearly a 20 to 25 papers are nearly similar to my research work. So that's why I chosen nearly some papers which is very related to my research studies. So Hang Chun Zhou, the effect of steel slag as a fine aggregate on static impact behavior of the concrete. So which is published in October 18th. So he has concluded that 20% of steel slag concrete is useful for this studies, for his studies. So and he get the maximum optimum strength to compare to the normal strength. So next second person is Amartanath Reddy. So design of aspect mixers with the steel slag aggregate by using the Berry method of gradation selection. So December 2020. The primary focus on present study is the proposed framework on the selection of aggregate grading for the aspect mixers of steel slag concrete. So next actor, Zhang. The properties of previous concrete within the steel slag as aggregate and different mineral admixtures are binders. May 2020. So he concluded that the comparison between the 7, 14 and 28 days. So what is the mixed strength will be optimum gained? He will be explained. So Jung Cho Ju. The effect of steel slag and the fresh hardened concrete and microstructural properties of high calcium fly based geopolymers as a standard curing conditions, published in 2019. So he concluded that steel slag on the fresh hardened concrete and microstructural properties of the standard curing high calcium fine aggregate based on geopolymers. So he used the admixture as a geopolymer. So he get the optimum strength and he will be concluded that his results is give the maximum strength to compare to the normal strength. So Geohishi. So ultimate unprocessed steel slag of fine aggregate in normal and high strength concrete. Published in 19. He concluded that normal concrete and steel slag comparison with freshly concrete and hardened concrete. So the comparison of four type of cubes will be explained and cylindrical cubes will be explained in this study. So Wang, the effect of next researcher is Wang. So effect of steel slag on hydration and strength development of calcium sulfide cement. So he is published in 2020. The steel slag worked like a filler and had a duration effect of CSA, cement hydration. So therefore, the chemical shrinkage and electrical resistivity, chemically bonded water content, strength of the paste reduces the increase of initial slag replacement, but the data of 90 days. So he concluded that 90 days test, 7 days, 14 days, 28 days, and 90 days. The comparison of those properties will be explained. So next one, gene win. So the utilization of genus coarse aggregate and steel slag fine aggregate aspect mixes, which is published in 2015. So the research area is facilitated the genus coarse aggregate. So in this his study, he replaced the coarse aggregate, also replaced, and the mixed strength properties will be comparison. Next, Ting Hu. Study of pavement performance of the steel slag aspect mixtures based on surface treatment, published in 2022. The different surface treatment methods of steel slag were compared, and the optimum surface treatment focused on modifiable dosage. So next occur is SHIOV, the experimental investigation on flexural behavior of hydrated steel, fiber reinforced concrete, fly ash and slag powder, published in 2019. So he concluded that fly ash and slag powder, two component will be mixed and give the final optimum percentage, and he give that HFRC increases the 4.94 percentage of MPa to 7.39. So he concluded that normal concrete has get 4.94. His performance like fly ash and slag powder gives 7.34. 39 percentage of strength. So this is the optimum strength. So next, Wang Wohan, the facilities of Furnace slag powder cementitious properties. 2019, he concluded that ordinary Portland cement is replaced by the steel slag, and XRD SEMUP analysis also concluded in this research area. Next researcher is and actor is Young Mu, the effect of curing temperature on carbonation behavior of steel slag compacts, April 2021. He concluded that 19.3% of respectively. So he concluded that temperature changes like 10 degrees, 20 degrees, or 30 degrees will be concluded on his research work. Next, Tongzhou, self-stress concrete, the smart concrete containing fine aggregate and steel fibers under the high compressive strength, which is published in 2019. The smart concrete conducting steel fibers, the fine aggregate which is clear reverse electrical resistivity represented under the comparison. So he concluded the self-stressed concrete he concluded. So next actor is Joichung Pan. Investigation of effect of steel slag powder on the properties of self-compacting concrete with recycling aggregate. So he published in 2018. He explained that the recycling aggregate also is a coarse aggregate, and steel slag as a fine aggregate, and cement is the major component. He concluded 30% of his research work give the maximum optimum strength. Jo Chung To, the performance of concrete made with the steel slag and waste glass. 2016 he published it. So waste glass give the optimum strength to compare to the normal strength. So those are the actors published on different papers, and they give the valid reasons which is concluded with the which is related to the steel slag. So that's why those papers are majorly considered for my research work. Next, in my part of research work, the material used is cement, natural sand, steel slag, coarse aggregate, and water. So cement is 53 grade of ordinary Portland cement is used. It gives the optimum strength. Steel slag, which is making from the steel industries, which is waste from the melted steel and making steel. The waste will be sent to the outside. Those steel will be after cooling and we use it for our research work. That component we use it for our research work. Natural sand. So we are under the zone 3 category. So that's why we use it zone 3 natural sand. Next, coarse aggregate. In our area, coarse aggregate means the particles having the greater than 4.75 to 37.5. Those component. In my research area, I use 20 mm steel. Coarse aggregate will be my coarse aggregate. Next, methodology. Selection, determination, incorporation, mixing, pour, monitoring workability properties and mechanical properties, evaluation, duration properties, and refining. So selection. So what type of material I selected? Determination. So those properties are related to my research area or not. Incorporation. So those component intermixing with other component, there is any reaction. So having the any reactions or any drawbacks finding. So incorporation method. After the incorporation method, we are mixing the properties, and after the pour and monitoring the workability properties, and under first day, 7 days, 14 days, 28 days, after 90 days. The mechanical properties. So what are the properties I having, the materials having, and in my research area there is any differences. I concluded the mechanical properties, evaluated during durability properties. So those properties having the enhancing or optimum strength or not. So finally reflecting. So there are different tests I conducted for my research area. The first one is compressive strength, IS 516 1959. So fineness of the cement, IS 4031 1998. Fineness of modulus of cement, IS 383 1970. Specific gravity of the coarse aggregate, BS 8122. So split tensile strength, IS 5816. Flexural strength, IS 516. Next, water absorption. Next, filling ability. So those are the different tests I conducted for my research area. Next one, acknowledgement. So throughout the university, I grateful thank to the university, Dr.T.V.S.Vara, Acharya Nagarjuna University, which is from Guntur at Andhra Pradesh State. I heartfully thankful to the principal sir and the HOD, head of the department, and the faculty who are helpful in my research area. So completely acknowledgement, and the university give the laboratories for my research area. Next, conclusion. So adding steel slag is concrete will be increases the ability absorption energy throughout the final expansion ratio. Next, when we use used as an aggregate. So the use of steel slag, which is equivalent in volume to find the fine aggregate, and which is used for the increasing concrete, the static compressive strength as a steel slag content increases. Next, the concrete that has steel slag adding, it become more brittle and rigid. Steel slag concrete has somewhat higher elastic modular properties than regular concrete. Moreover, the Poisson's ratio of concrete also little impact by the including the steel slag. So there is a noticeable increase in the strain rate of effect. The steel slag concrete has been by the progressive increase of the dynamic compressive strength. The steel slag concrete is a dynamic compressive strength noticed higher than the regular concrete. So I finally concluded that the steel slag perfect matching in the fine aggregate, and the optimum strength will be concluded in my further scope, further studies, and the scope will be the future scope will be explained after my research completion. So finally, thank you for giving me this opportunity.